The galactic mistake, the council chamber falls silent. Emergency transmission crackled through the quantum communication arrays of the Galactic Council headquarters on Nexus Prime. High Chancellor, Vexmira S. crystalline form shifted from calm blue to alarmed purple as the holographic display materialized before the assembled representatives of 47 star systems. What they were about to witness would change the course of galactic history forever. Admiral Kexther of the mighty Vorthic Empire appeared in the projection, his usually pristine military uniform torn and scorched. His four eyes, normally steady and confident, now darted nervously as explosions echoed in the background of his flagship's bridge. The sight of a Vorthic admiral in distress sent ripples of shock through the council chamber. High Chancellor, esteemed council members, Kexther began, his voice strained. I am transmitting from what remains of Battle Fleet Dominator. We have encountered an unprecedented situation on the third planet of the Sol system, designated as Earth in their primitive languages. A council had authorized this operation weeks ago. Earth was supposed to be a simple demonstration, a way to show other developing worlds what happened when they refused to submit to galactic authority. The Vorthic Empire had conquered hundreds of systems using their standard protocol. Arrive with overwhelming force, destroy key infrastructure, and demand immediate surrender. It had never failed. Explain yourself, Admiral, Chancellor Vexmira commanded, her harmonious voice carrying across the chamber. Your fleet consisted of 200 vessels equipped with quantum weaponry. How could a pre-space civilization pose any threat? Kexther's image flickered as another explosion rocked his ship. That's exactly what we thought, Chancellor. Our intelligence indicated that these humans had barely achieved nuclear fusion. Their most advanced weapons were crude missiles that couldn't even reach their own moon consistently. We expected complete capitulation within hours. The first contact disaster, the Admiral's account of the initial invasion attempt, sent chills through the assembled delegates. According to standard Vorthic protocol, they had begun by disabling Earth's primitive satellite network and broadcasting their surrender demands in every human language their computers could decipher. We gave them the usual terms, Kexther continued, wiping strange human dust from his uniform. Immediate surrender, relocation of their population to designated zones, and preparation of their planet for resource extraction. We even gave them a full rotation of their planet to consider, which was more generous than most species receive. But instead of the expected panic and submission, something extraordinary happened. The humans did something no other species had ever done in 3,000 years of Vorthic expansion. They laughed Dr. Sarachun, a quantum physicist from something called MIT, had somehow accessed their communication frequency and responded directly to the flagship. Her words, translated through their universal language processors, were simple but chilling. Thank you for the technology demonstration. We'll be in touch. At first, we dismissed it as primitive bravado, Kexther admitted. Every species makes defiant gestures before accepting reality. But then something unprecedented happened. Within 6 hours of our arrival, the humans had somehow reverse-engineered portions of our communication technology. The council chamber erupted in murmurs of disbelief. Vorthic quantum communications were protected by encryption algorithms that took their best scientists centuries to develop. The idea that a pre-space civilization could crack them in hours was incomprehensible. Human innovation under pressure, what followed was unlike anything in recorded galactic history. Instead of cowering before superior technology, the humans began studying it. Every weapon fired at their cities, every disabled satellite, every demonstration of Vorthic power became a learning opportunity. Their approach to problem-solving is completely alien to us, Kexther explained, ducking as sparks flew from a damaged console behind him. Where we rely on established protocols and proven methods, they improvise constantly. They try solutions. That make no logical sense, but somehow work. The humans had done something that violated every principle of technological development the galaxy knew. They took pieces of Vorthic technology, combined them with their own primitive systems, and created hybrid solutions that were crude but effective. A human named Professor Liu Wei had somehow figured out how to power their primitive rockets using modified Vorthic energy cells, turning their space junk into kinetic weapons. They weaponized their own debris, Kexler said, his voice filled with a mixture of admiration and terror. Thousands of pieces of space junk, each equipped with salvaged Vorthac components, all aimed at our fleet with pinpoint accuracy. We lost 12 cruisers to their modified trash before we understood what was happening. But the true shock came when the humans began coordinating globally. Every nation on their planet, despite their primitive political divisions, united against the common threat. Their leader, someone called Captain Marcus Torres, had somehow convinced every human government to share resources and information instantly. The technological leap the Council watched in stunned silence as Kexler described the humans' impossible technological advancement. Within days of first contact, they had established a functioning space defense grid using hybrid human Vorthic technology. They don't follow our scientific methods, the Admiral continued. Where we spend years on theoretical research and testing, they experiment directly with live systems. A human engineer named Elena Rodriguez figured out our gravity manipulation technology by dropping one of our damaged fighters into their planet's magnetic field and observing the interaction patterns. The humans had done in days what most civilizations took centuries to achieve. They had gone from a barely space-capable species to one that could hold its own against a Vorthic battle fleet. Their secret wasn't superior intelligence or better resources. It was their willingness to try anything, no matter how dangerous or unconventional. High Chancellor, Kexler said urgently, you must understand what we're dealing with. These humans have a concept they call thinking outside the box. They don't limit themselves to proven solutions. When conventional approaches fail, they invent new ones on the spot. The Admiral described watching human pilots ram damaged aircraft into Vorthic landing craft, not out of desperation, but as a calculated tactical decision. He told of human civilians using their global information network to coordinate attacks on supply lines that the Vorthic thought were completely secure. The impossible defense. What terrified the Vorthic most was the humans' ability to learn from every attack. Each Vorthic tactical doctrine, refined over millennia of conquest, was analyzed and countered within hours. The humans shared information instantly across their entire planet, meaning that a lesson learned in one battle was immediately applied everywhere else. We tried our standard orbital bombardment protocol, Kexler reported. The humans studied our targeting patterns and began relocating their critical infrastructure faster than we could track it. They turned their entire civilization mobile in 3 days. Asterisk, the humans had done something unprecedented. They had turned their apparent weakness into strength. Their primitive technology made them unpredictable. Their lack of established military doctrine meant they could adapt faster than any enemy could anticipate. Dr. Sarah Chan had somehow coordinated a global network of scientists, engineers, and military personnel that operated with efficiency that impressed even Vorthic strategic computers. She had turned Earth into a single, unified defensive organism that learned and adapted in real time. The fleet's destruction. Final blow came when the humans figured out Vorthic shield frequencies. A human child, apparently some kind of prodigy, named Tommy Chun, had been playing with captured Vorthic equipment and accidentally discovered that their quantum shields were vulnerable to a specific type of electromagnetic pulse that could be generated using modified human radio equipment. Within hours, every human settlement was broadcasting shield disruption signals. Kexter said, his voice breaking. Our technological advantage disappeared overnight. Suddenly, their primitive kinetic weapons could penetrate our defenses. The humans had turned their entire planet into a weapon. Every radio tower, every satellite dish, every communication device had been modified to disrupt Vorthig systems. The invasion fleet found itself fighting not just human military forces, but an entire world that had weaponized itself in days. Admiral, Chancellor Vexmira interrupted. What is the current status of your fleet? Kexter's image flickered. Again, as his flagship shuddered under attack. Of 200 vessels, 17 remain operational. The humans have captured 43 ships intact and are already incorporating our technology into their planetary defenses. Chancellor, they're not just defending themselves anymore. They're building something. The human message, as if summoned by his words, the transmission suddenly switched perspectives. The council found themselves looking at a human female in a simple blue uniform, standing in what appeared to be a captured Vorthik command center. Dr. Sarah Chun looked directly into the camera with calm, determined eyes that sent chills through every delegate present. Greetings, Galactic Council, she said in perfect galactic standard, a language she couldn't have known a week earlier. My name is Dr. Sarah Chun, and I represent the unified governments of Earth. We've been monitoring your communications, and we think there's been a misunderstanding. The audacity was breathtaking. A member of a species that had just learned of the galaxy's existence was speaking to the ruling body of known civilization as an equal. You seem to have mistaken us for a typical primitive species that would submit to intimidation, Dr. Chun continued. This was an error in judgment that has cost you significantly. We've analyzed your technology, studied your tactics, and evaluated your strategic capabilities. Frankly, we expected more from a galactic civilization. The insult hit the Council like a physical blow. No species had ever spoken to them with such casual dismissal of their power. Here's what's going to happen, Dr. Chun said, her tone becoming businesslike. You're going to recall all hostile forces from our solar system immediately. In return, we won't demonstrate our new defensive capabilities on your home worlds. Consider this a generous offer, because we've already identified the locations of your key installations through the navigation databases of your captured ships. The final warning, the transmission continued as Dr. Chun walked through the captured Vorthik vessel, pointing out modifications that human engineers had made to alien systems. In 1 week, they had improved upon designs that the Vorthik had spent centuries perfecting. We're not interested in conquest or domination, she explained. Earth has plenty of challenges of our own to solve. But we won't tolerate threats to our survival, and we won't be bullied by anyone, regardless of their technological advantages. She paused in front of a massive viewing screen showing Earth surrounded by a network of defense platforms built from salvaged Vorthik technology and human innovation. We're prepared to defend ourselves against any future aggression, but we prefer peaceful coexistence. The choice is yours. You have 48 Earth hours to respond. The transmission cut off, leaving the council chamber in absolute silence. Finally, Chancellor Vexmira spoke, her crystalline form now a deep red of alarm. Admiral Kexter, what is your assessment of their capabilities? Kexter's battered image reappeared. Chancellor, in 7 days, they've achieved what most species take centuries to accomplish. If we continue this conflict, we risk creating an enemy that could threaten the stability of the entire galaxy. My recommendation is immediate withdrawal and diplomatic engagement. Earth's ultimatum. The Council debates, the emergency session of the Galactic Council, had been in continuous debate for 18 hours. Representatives from 47 star systems argued, threatened, and pleaded as they tried to comprehend what had just happened. The humans of Earth had done the impossible. They had defeated a Vorthik invasion fleet and were now dictating terms to the galaxy's most powerful civilization. High Chancellor Vex Mira observed the chaos from her central platform, her crystalline form cycling through colors of deep contemplation. The Zephyrian delegate was demanding immediate military escalation. The Torgan representative insisted on complete quarantine of the Sol system. The ancient ethereal collective suggested that perhaps the humans should be invited to join the council. As equals, order. Vex Mira's harmonic voice cut through the arguments. We must consider our response carefully. The humans have demonstrated capabilities that challenge our fundamental understanding of technological development and military strategy. Ambassador Vexner of the Rigelian Coalition stood, his tentacles writhing with agitation. Chancellor, we cannot allow this precedent. If one primitive world can defy galactic authority, others will follow. The stability of our entire civilization is at stake. And what do you propose? Asked Sage Morden of the Ethereal Collective, her energy form pulsing with ancient wisdom. Another military intervention? The Vorthic Empire sent their finest fleet, and it was destroyed by a species that learned faster than they could adapt. Perhaps it's time to reconsider our approach to emerging civilizations. Earth's technological revolution. While the Council debated, Earth continued its impossible transformation. Dr. Sarah Chun stood in the newly constructed Command Center Alpha, a facility that hadn't existed a week ago, but now coordinated the defense of humanity's home system. Banks of monitors showed real-time data from across the solar system, where human-built defense platforms powered by hybrid technology maintained constant vigilance. Status report, Dr. Chun requested as she entered the main operations room. Captain. Marcus Torres looked up from a holographic display that would have been incomprehensible to any human just days earlier. All perimeter stations are operational. The asteroid belt mining platforms are exceeding production targets. We've successfully established manufacturing bases on Mars and Luna using the captured Vorthic industrial systems. The speed of human adaptation continued to astound even themselves. Professor Liu Wei had not only reverse-engineered Vorthic faster-than-light communication, but had improved upon it, creating a quantum communication network that connected every human settlement. Instantly. What about the fleet analysis? Dr. Chun asked. Elena Rodriguez has finished integrating the captured ship systems, Captain Torres reported. The engineering teams have identified critical weaknesses in Vorthic design philosophy. They over-engineer for durability, but sacrifice adaptability. Our hybrid designs are already proving superior in combat simulations. Dr. Chun nodded, studying the tactical displays. Humanity had done something unprecedented in galactic history. They had taken enemy technology, understood it completely, and improved upon it in less than a week. The captured Vorthic vessels had been transformed into something entirely new. Ships that combined alien efficiency with human innovation. The human network. What the galaxy failed to understand was that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their tactics. It was their ability to share information and coordinate action across their entire species instantly. The global internet, which the Vorthic had dismissed as a primitive communication system, had become the backbone of a planetary defense network. Tommy Chun, the 12-year-old prodigy who had discovered the shield frequency vulnerability, was now leading a team of human children in analyzing Vorthic computer systems. Their young minds, unburdened by preconceptions about what was possible, were making breakthrough discoveries that astounded adult scientists. Dr. Chun called out Dr. Yuki Tanaka from the communication station. We're receiving another transmission from Admiral Kexther. He's requesting permission to evacuate his remaining crew. Put him through, Dr. Chun replied. Admiral Kexther's image appeared on the main screen, looking even more haggard than before. His flagship showed clear signs of battle damage and his crew worked frantically in the background to maintain basic systems. "Dr. Chun," he began, his 4 eyes showing what humans were learning to recognize as Vorthic expressions of respect. "I formally request safe passage for my remaining personnel. We acknowledge your supremacy in this system and wish to withdraw." Dr. Chun considered the request. Humanity had learned much about galactic politics from captured Vorthic databases. They understood that allowing the survivors to leave would send a message throughout the galaxy. Earth was strong enough to show mercy. "Permission granted, Admiral," she replied. "Your wounded will receive medical treatment at our Luna facilities before departure. We've prepared data packages containing our initial diplomatic proposals for the Galactic Council. Please ensure they receive them." The galactic response back on Nexus Prime, the Council had finally reached a decision. Chancellor Vex Myra activated the emergency communication system to contact Earth directly. The response came not from Dr. Chun, but from an unexpected source, a collective transmission from every major human city simultaneously. Millions of human faces appeared on screens throughout the council chamber, representing every nation, every culture, every demographic of Earth. They spoke in unison, their voices synchronized across the planet in a display of unity that sent chills through the assembled aliens. "We are humanity," they said together. "We speak as one voice, one will, one determination. You came to our world believing us weak because we were divided. You were wrong." The simultaneous global transmission was impossible by any known technology. The Vorthic quantum communication system couldn't coordinate signals across multiple planets with such precision. Yet somehow the humans had achieved perfect synchronization across their entire world. "We offer the galaxy partnership, not domination," the unified human voice continued. "Our scientists have analyzed your technologies and found them wanting. Our engineers have improved upon your designs. Our strategists have identified the fundamental flaws in your military doctrines. We are not your enemies, but we will never again be your victims." The new galactic order, Dr. Chun's individual voice, joined the global chorus as she stepped forward in the Command Center Alpha. "Chancellor Vex Myra, we've prepared a comprehensive proposal for peaceful coexistence. Our terms are simple. Earth will be recognized as a sovereign system with full membership in the Galactic Council. In exchange, we'll share our technological innovations and strategic insights." The offer was unprecedented. No species had ever demanded Council membership as a condition of peace. The very idea challenged the fundamental hierarchy that had governed galactic civilization for millennia. "Furthermore," Dr. Chun continued, "we propose the establishment of a new protocol for contact with emerging civilizations. The current practice of intimidation and conquest is not only morally wrong, but strategically counterproductive. Species develop faster when threatened, not slower." The council chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. The humans weren't just defending themselves. They were proposing to reform galactic civilization itself. "You have created something dangerous," Chancellor Vex Myra responded, "a precedent that could destabilize the entire galaxy." Dr. Chun smiled, an expression that the aliens were learning to interpret correctly. "Chancellor, we've created something. Necessary? Change. Evolution? Progress. Your civilization has been stagnant for centuries, content to bully weaker species instead of fostering their development. That ends now." The demonstration to emphasize their point, the humans activated their new planetary defense grid. Energy readings spiked across the Sol system as hundreds of defense platforms powered up simultaneously. The display was visible from anywhere in the system, a clear demonstration that Earth was no longer defenseless. But the true shock came when long-range sensors detected movement beyond Pluto. A massive structure, clearly artificial, was emerging from what appeared to be empty space. "That's impossible," whispered science advisor Kreltos of the academic consortium. They couldn't have built something that large in such a short time. Dr. Chun's smile widened. Actually, we didn't build it. We grew it. One of our captured Vorthak vessels contained information about self-replicating construction systems. We improved the design and seeded it throughout our outer system. What you're seeing is just the first harvest. The structure was enormous, easily the size of a small moon, and clearly designed for deep space operations. It represented a level of engineering capability that rivaled the greatest achievements of galactic civilization. The final message. As the demonstration concluded, Dr. Chun delivered humanity's final message to the galaxy. We don't want to rule the galaxy, she said, her voice carrying across the quantum communication network to every inhabited system. We want to improve it. Our species has a gift for adaptation, innovation, and cooperation under pressure. These traits have allowed us to survive and thrive on a world that tried to kill us for millions of years. She gestured to the displays showing Earth's transformation, cities rebuilding with hybrid technology, space elevators rising from every continent, generation ships beginning construction in orbital shipyards. We offer the galaxy a choice. Dr. Chun continued, you can continue your old ways, conquering and suppressing emerging species, creating enemies where you could have partners. Or you can embrace a new approach, one based on cooperation, mutual development, and shared progress. The transmission began including data streams showing human innovations, medical technologies that could extend lifespans across species barriers, energy systems that were more efficient than anything the galaxy had seen, and communication networks that could connect civilizations across vast distances instantly. We've solved problems in ways that your civilizations have struggled with for centuries, Dr. Chun said. Not because we're superior, but because we approach problems differently. We don't accept that something is impossible just because it hasn't been done before. The Council's decision, Chancellor Vex Myra, called for a formal vote. The debate that followed was brief but intense. Some delegates argued for military escalation, others for complete isolation of the Sol system. But the majority recognized the inevitable truth. Humanity had changed the balance of galactic power forever. The motion to accept Earth's membership in the Galactic Council passes, Vex Myra announced. Dr. Sarah Chun, you and your species are hereby invited to take your place among the civilized worlds of the galaxy. Dr. Chun bowed formally. We accept, Chancellor, but understand that our membership comes with responsibilities that we take seriously. We will not stand by while other emerging species are bullied or conquered. The age of galactic imperialism is over. The new era. Within hours of the Council's decision, human ships began appearing throughout the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as teachers, healers, and defenders. They established contact with developing worlds, offering technology and guidance. Instead of ultimatums and threats, the Vorthak Empire, humbled by their defeat, became humanity's first allies in this new approach. Admiral Kexter himself requested assignment as a liaison officer, eager to learn human tactical innovations. You changed everything, he told Dr. Chun during their first formal meeting. Not just for us, but for the entire galaxy. Species that have been enemies for centuries are cooperating because they know that conflict only makes them vulnerable to someone like you. Dr. Chun laughed, a sound that had become familiar and welcome throughout the galactic community. Admiral, we didn't change everything. We just reminded everyone that change is possible. That's the most human thing of all, refusing to accept that things have to stay the same. As Earth's ships spread across the galaxy, they carried with them something more valuable than weapons or technology. They carried hope. The hope that civilizations could grow, that enemies could become friends, and that the universe was big enough for everyone to thrive. The final transmission to the Galactic Council had become the first message of a new era. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage not with conquest in mind, but with an invitation. Join us in building something better. And across the galaxy, species that had been enemies for millennia began to listen. Continue by typing yes, or continue to explore the aftermath of humanity's first contact with the galaxy and their revolutionary approach to interstellar diplomacy.